Well, hello there. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Janine. I am a psychic healer and a personal leadership coach. Part of what I do is helping people to understand how to believe in themselves better and where their focus should be. Because people, there is power in focus. Think of it this way. We have the sun shining beautifully in the sky. When we take a magnifying glass and we focus that ray onto a piece of grass, wood, or paper, we can actually set it alight. In fact, it can be set alight through a dewdrop even, or so I believe. I've never actually seen this. Because I would imagine that would evaporate before that. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is I have seen it being done with a magnifying glass. The reason I'm speaking about this is when we work with energy, we get to see where our focus is. Are we focusing on what we desire? Alternatively, are we focusing on what we dislike? Because whatever we focus on, that is where we are narrowing the energy down to. And when we become very aware of our language, what we're saying, how we're saying it, we begin to understand where we are focusing our energy, where we are sending our attention, and what we are using language to create in our life, what language we are using to create in our life. Now, if you keep saying, well, I don't have this, and this hasn't happened, and that hasn't happened, guess what? You are going to stay in that loop. Whereas when you go, okay, look at that. Where can I do things differently? What can I do differently? It is absolutely incredible how things happen differently. And they may be differently in a low vibration perspective, and they can be differently in a high vibration perspective. Again, it comes down to focus. What are you focused on? Are you focused on what you dislike having, or are you focused on what you would love to have? Then we add the feelings, people. And all of this goes back to our thinking. This is one of the reasons I have a program called Thinking by Design, because when we can design our thinking and design our language, we create a life we love. Now, one of the things with healing is, when I'm working with people with healing, I don't always necessarily focus on where they feel the pain, where they're feeling the discomfort, and what the dis-ease is in their body. My focus is allowing the blocked energy to be freed. So we look at, well, what is blocking the energy? And so many times it's language, it's perceptions, it's the past, it's even the potential of the future can be blocking the energy because of fear and an inability to see where the focus is. And when we are able to shift this, to change this, it is incredible. So basically, when I'm doing healing with people, whether I'm doing it from a business perspective, a mindset perspective, a life perspective, a language perspective, I get myself into an energetically higher area, and then I become a conduit for the energy, and I focus the energy on the person. So I use the energy of love, source energy, creator energy, Mother Earth energy, and I then become the focus. I then focus it on the person. So I'm the focus for the energy, and my focus then directs it towards the person. The wonderful thing about it is that I have seen and experienced that many times other things become healed because they are more important in the unblocking of the blocked energy. So again, the focus is on wellness. It's on energy flow, not on the blockage, not on the dis-ease, the lack of ease in the body and the person's thinking, their past, their whatever's going on. The focus becomes one of love. The focus becomes one of healing. And that is then what helps that person's body's focus to be raised to a higher vibration. So the power of focus is check what you're focusing on. Check what you would like to focus on. Check on the feelings you are having and where can you expand it rather than wrap a rubber band around the hose, the conduit of it into your life, so that it never gets to reach you and it explodes in somebody else's garden for them to pick up and to experience. Okay, not a great analogy. The bottom line is everything you are looking to create, you are aligned to create, is there for you. It's when you allow yourself to become the focus of good energy rather than the focus of lower vibrational energy. Because remember, we have good, better, and best. So good may not feel so good. The bottom line is when we can say, well, I take my focus of what feels bad, I acknowledge it, I acknowledge the feeling, I take my focus off it, and I begin to focus on what feels good, that we then become the focus of what is ours, what can flow to us, and how this can happen. Janine, I'm confused. Don't worry, I was very confused when I started working with it, and step by step, I was able to understand that absolute incredible power of focus that is linked with our language, our thinking, and the way we direct our energy. Because it's in the direction of the energy that brings healing, that brings expansion, and that brings us to a point of receiving what is great, what is of love, and what is of goodness, and what is better than good and the best. So let's focus on receiving the best. And we take the steps of good, better, so we can achieve best. When people work with me, I can see the end point they're looking for. I very often will start at what is the end point for today? What is the end point for tomorrow? What is something that the energy can be focused on? And this is normally a phrase of an affirmation or a mantra. Most times it's everything is always working out for me. Because when we become focused on that, we release focus on what isn't working out, because we are now focused on, well, I'm allowing that everything is always working out for me. It's that shift, that practical shift of focus that helps my client and yourself, if you're listening, to move from where they are to where they know they would like their future self to be. And again, when we are focused on our future self, we are then able to say, well, what do I do now? What is my focus right now, this moment, in order to become that person? And that is a talk for another day. Thank you for joining me. Come and find me on social media, and let's see where we can shift your focus and where we can help you expand, grow, create that legacy you enjoy being, and create your story, your language for life, rather than a story of disaster. Have a good day. Bye-bye.